I spent almost a month on my last video going into great detail about the truth regarding finasteride side effects. I showed with great evidence that Post Finasteride Syndrome does not exist, and the overall safety of finasteride is very high, with rare and reversible side effects. But before I explained anything, I made it clear in the introduction that fallacy arguments will not be tolerated on this channel. So what did the haters come at me with? Fallacies. Seriously, 100% of those who were against me on the topic made fallacies as their arguments, and we'll go over them now. The reason I'm doing this is just to highlight to you what kind of arguments that you are going bold for when you're too scared to take finasteride, or if you're on the fence. You're ignoring very high quality and mountains of research for these types of talking points. Let's start off with the most obvious and most overused. Not really what? I am here and telling you that from the day I took finasteride, I experienced A, B, and C, and since I quit, C is still present after 5 years. What else do you want? This one here, where you're using your own anecdotal experience as evidence for something being real or not. You are guilty of the anecdotal fallacy. Next, Mr. Casual Finder Bot. PFS is like so obviously real that just so obvious based on what it does to your body, and even debating it is just stupid. Now, your refusal to even acknowledge the evidence for the other side, despite it being very high quality evidence, and you have already set your view in place with zero room for discussion. After all, you said debating about it is stupid. You are guilty of invincible ignorance. If I wanted to, I could have very easily did the same thing in my video, saying that this in fact isn't real, and trying to debate against me and disagree with me is stupid because it's obviously not real, yet providing no evidence for it. Suddenly your argument doesn't sound very intelligent now, does it? Now Zemo90 here says this. PFS exists. You can ask a real doctor about it. Go look at some of Dr. Visitor's podcasts. Now what you're implying here, sir, is that I'm supposed to disregard all the high-quality evidence in favor of my argument because this one specific doctor happens to disagree. You are hereby guilty of appeal to authority. And if you actually would have watched the previous video that you're responding to, you would have known that this is the lowest form of evidence in the hierarchy of scientific evidence. Mr. Castaway Boy comes with this. So it turns out that one person's video doesn't speak for thousands of first-hand accounts of PFS victims, huh? So once again, all the high-quality research showing that this is a condition that doesn't exist no longer matters because people on Reddit and people on Discord have come forward saying something else. You are guilty of ad populum. Random Dutchie. And lung cancer from smoking cigarettes is not real. Doctors years ago said it was not bad at all. Okay, so because doctors were wrong about one specific thing that isn't related to this, in a different period of time that this drug came about, they're of course wrong even in this case. Doesn't matter what evidence you bring, they're just wrong because they've been wrong before. With this logic, I can easily argue that you should go out to McDonald's and shove 5,000 burgers up your gullet because, hey, when doctors say it's bad, they've been wrong before. You're guilty of the false analogy. Next, we have a YouTube comment by somebody who's responding to my remark about conspiracy theorists. Here's what he said. Oh yeah? Well, isn't it a conspiracy itself to claim that there are a group of people who are collaborating in the dark to tarnish finasteride? Now, maybe he's right, maybe he's not. Either way, it doesn't matter because I never actually made that claim, and he would know this if he watched the video. So here what he's doing is he's picking an argument I never made and trying to imply that I'm wrong even though I never claimed this. He's distracting from the main topic because that's the easy and convenient way for him to try and take apart my argument. He is guilty of the red herring. Now, Mr. Crotchlord. Mr. Crotchlord 69. I know you meant well with your comment, and much of what you said was correct, but I have to throw you in here for the betterment of society. When you're dealing with something with such a low incident rate and such a vague catch-all cluster of symptoms, it certainly leaves the door open to false attribution. A lot of people on Finn are young, moody men who are growing up and changing in real time. Many of them have significant anxiety and potentially other pre-existing mental health conditions. I have no doubt that some people do have permanent side effects from taking a hormone-altering drug at a young age, but my understanding is that it's pretty damn rare in the case of finasteride. Once again, this was overall a very reasonable post, except for the part where you say that you're sure that there are some permanent side effects that people get from finasteride. This is just not true, and the evidence I put forward shows this. It's almost as if you're looking for a kind of argument that will please both sides of the discussion because that's just the nice thing to do. But that doesn't really matter here. What matters is what's the truth. And this here, I'm sorry, but makes you guilty of the middle ground fallacy. So if you're still on the fence here, just ask yourself one question. Are you really going to go bold for these types of arguments? Now, before I end this video, I should probably address something that I'm sure somebody would bring up. Hang on, wait a minute. What you're doing now is the fallacy. You're being a hypocrite, bro. And you know what? You would be absolutely wrong. Because I never actually claimed that you guys are wrong because your argument was fallacious. I'm simply saying that your argument sucks. And with that, have a good day.